Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Think about who your friends were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Think about who your friends were in high school. Have those friends continued to be in your life from 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from high school? I hope all are, some are. Now, if you analyze them more closely, the friends that have stayed with you are most likely because they provide meaning to you. And those that don't, they forcefully left or they naturally left. Mornings that lack meaning are easily forgettable. Mornings infused with meaning, we remember them. They stay with us. Meaningful Mornings is a community where we aspire to have mornings we remember that are filled with joy. Bhagavad Gita's chapter 3 is encouraging selflessness. In chapter 2, the source is highlighted, which is selfishness. The source of what? Chapter 1, which is fear. This is very clear in verses 14 and 15, which are a ladder we are to climb up. In this verse, what is strongly shown is how divinity climbs down to us. Divinity as a map and so on. And if divinities climb down to us, if we climb up, we will feel divine. This ladder or wheel, the facets are, I'm going to go from the top down. Infinity expresses as map, which expresses as rightness, which expresses as dedication, which expresses as prosperity, which expresses as peace, which expresses as nature. This is a most lovely teaching, and the way that we're able to access this, this really shows how divinity is accessible, which is why our religion, our culture is called Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means ever, ever present, ever available. Yajna is the emphasis in these verses. Shri Krishna shares all that you do should be yajna. And another word for this is arpana. To feel all that you do, all that you are, is offered. This thought continues in verse 16, but I want to summarize a little bit more. In our culture, there is a visualization of samsara. Samsara can look in many ways. One way is a whirlpool. A whirlpool where one is being sucked in, but one doesn't drown completely. One keeps drowning. That is symbolized in chapter 1 as vishada, stress, anxiety, dejection. In verse 16, a different spin is offered. This, what we were taught, is Shri Krishna's Sudarshana Chakra. Shri Krishna holds in one of his hands a chakra, which means a discus or a wheel, but this is Sudarshana, one of vision, one that is beneficial. This verse is Puja Swami Tejomayananda's favorite. I'm reading my notes and I wrote Guruji's favorite. It emphasizes how this multiverse is in harmony other than some of us. And that's why in this chapter, very strong words have been used for those who are not living in harmony. Mityachara, which means a hypocrite. Another word, stena, a thief. More strong words come out in this verse, 16. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hayaha aghayur indriya ramaha mogham partha sajivati. Evam means thus, referencing verse 14 and 15. Pravartitam chakram, what is shared in 14:15, is a wheel, and this wheel is spinning. Spinning in the right way because it has started with divinity. Na anuvartayati iha yaha, the one who does not spin with this wheel, the one who does not flow with the multiverse. A description is given of such a person. I'm in the third quarter. Aghayuhu, they're living in papa or sin. Indriya ramaha, they are living for pleasure, for a yoga between sense objects and their sense organs. Let me continue and then I'll put it all together. Shri Krishna summarizes how such a person lives. Mogham, in vain. Partha sajivati, such a vision, such a lifestyle, Prince Arjuna, is vain in all ways. Okay. Agha does mean sin, as your translation shares. Agha also means a python. A python is a being, nature's being, that symbolizes tamas. Now, how does that feel for us? Tamas is when you feel you cannot be happy, where we normalize feeling stress, anxiety, dejection. The wheel of life, one point of this wheel is our nature. Another point in this wheel is divinity. So divinity is us. We are divinity. The opposite of that, the opposite flow and feeling would be agha, stress, anxiety, dejection. Now, those who are marginally more evolved, the word mogha, they're trying to feel this divinity through rajas. A vain person is one who's always thinking about themselves, that the wheel of life revolves around them. Rajas is when one thinks they can create divinity, create joy, and the path of least resistance is the sense organ and how they're attracted to, they're lustful for sense object. Many strong words are used in this chapter: hypocrite, thief, and now a new word is introduced: vain, one who is living in a selfish way, which expresses in a superficial way. They will never climb the ladder to divinity. They will never have the vision of being in Sri Krishna's hand. From inspiration to application, your application from yesterday was to think and say and feel, thank God it's Wednesday. How many of you did this? Srimad Bhagavatam teaches the art of dying, and Bhagavad Gita teaches the art of living. I've shared in our Vedanta and Bhagavata course that every one of us is going to die on a certain day of the week, some on Wednesday, some on Thursday. So make that the best day. And how can this art of dying happen? Through the art of living, being thankful that today's Wednesday, now Thursday, then Friday. Your application for this morning, I'd begun Meaningful Mornings thinking about our friends from 5, 10, 15 years from high school. Your application is to reflect on who or what has saved your life from being mogha, vain, to being meaningful. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.